everybody. It's me, Jeff Walker. What can I tell you about what's going on with me today? Not too much, other than I've had some surgery done here. As you can see, I have a bad case of carpal tunnel syndrome, which is affecting both my wrists. So I got my first arm done not too long ago, and then in April I'm getting the other one done. So I'm kind of on the back burner for writing in the next couple of months. I don't think I will be able to start writing. People have been saying you should be using dictation or like a transcript of something. I don't know about anything about that, and I've tried using transcript, or I should say, using the voice dictation before. It just doesn't. It doesn't get my. I guess because I don't announce everything phonetically, so when I mumble, it doesn't pick up what I'm saying. Half the time, the mic doesn't work because I don't have this mic down with me. I usually just have my computer, which has a terrible, terrible, terrible mic. My computer is really outdated, 2011. Pretty much, even the camera here is pretty low res. That's why I don't, it's not very HD on the computer when I see it. But as of right now, I was in the middle of doing several books, and it doesn't look like I'm getting to them just yet. Hopefully when my right hand starts to get better, which it should in a few weeks, I can begin practicing my fingering on the keyboard there, see if I can get back into typing at least with my right hand, because then my left hand will be done, and that'll take another 2 weeks or so. And I have my upcoming novel debut, or I should say my ebook, Part 1 of Professor Dark and His Shadow, coming out at the end of this month, March, I think it was 29th or 30th. I've been boasting it for the 29th. And I'm just, I put it out there, pre-orders, haven't seen anything happen, mainly because I'm not giving it enough advertisement, maybe. I thought I was. Maybe I put it out way too soon, and I probably did. That's why I'm going to stop doing pre-orders. I don't think it's necessary to do pre-orders unless everybody knows what your novel is, and they don't. It was when you're doing self-publishing and you look up stuff on how to generate interest in your book, a lot of these videos, a lot of these suggestions online, a lot of these writers come on telling you to do pre-orders. That's a good way to drum up some stuff for your books. And that's fine if you have a huge following, if you have like tons of links to your Patreon or your Ko-fi or your YouTube channel, which I don't. I do appreciate you, though, that are on here and have subscribed. I know that it's not the most interesting channel to be on half the time. It's just me rambling on about one thing or another. But half the time, that's what YouTube is anyway. Is it interesting? Probably not. I don't have enough graphics on here to keep everybody interested. It's kind of hard to keep people entertained, hard to generate stuff about other books, because I don't really want to discuss other things too much. I've gotten a lot of flack sometimes for being too critical of other books, or even Star Wars, or Star Trek, or whatever I've had a fixation on of late. What I did watch just not too long ago on Netflix was Adam Sandler's Spaceman. Let me tell you, that was boring. That was Andy Weir's book, Project Hail Mary. if you really wanted a depressing version of it. Now, if you haven't read Project Hail Mary, it's pretty much the same premise. There's a guy out in space all alone. He's on his way to help the Earth in some form of. There's a phage happening on the sun, and he has to go and see. He has to travel to a distant star, but it has nothing to do with a star. In this one, for some reason, there's some magic cloud hanging in our solar system that came like 30 years. And then the movie itself looks like it's wrapped around like some sort of quasi 60s now kind of future where it doesn't really, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's not the Russians, it's the Czech sending it out. So I'm assuming it was a Czech novel or a European novel of some sort. Honestly, it was. I don't know how to describe this movie. Like I said, I don't like reviewing stuff, but I have a mind. I'm a viewer as much as anybody. Just because I'm a writer and an author doesn't mean that I don't have an opinion about stuff, and I should never be criticized for that. But I just feel like that movie was so much like a ripoff of Andy Weir's novel. And they changed just enough of it to make it their own. And what Adam Sandler does in here, I really don't understand his premise of where he was trying to go with this character. He wasn't. I understand, like, all these actors, all these comedians have their serious moments. They've always got to do a film that's serious. Jim Carrey did it. Robin Williams did a lot of them, and now Adam Sandler wants to keep doing that now. Obviously, his. I want to say that his career is starting to head that way, and I have no faults for him trying to change it up. But in this particular story, I don't think he was necessary to be in this part. You could have gotten someone a little bit better. Ouch, I know. But I just don't feel like he's the one to be in this movie. And as to the alien that's helping him, very much on the nose with Project Hail Mary, except that it's an actual spider from Earth. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it doesn't look like an alien spider to me. They could have done a little bit better with the alien spider. Some of the graphics are fine. There's, I want to say, a lot of drama in this one. So I guess it'd be classified as a space opera. But still, it's like depressing space opera. And there's no real resolution in anything that was, like, in this movie. Like, none. It was, like, flat. I really don't know how else to describe this movie. Did I like it? It was okay. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody that's looking for something very hard sci-fi, because a lot of it was hit and miss, especially when it came to certain aspects of the science fiction of it. The inside of the ship looked very much like how you would think a space station or something like that, a spaceship, would probably look like, except that it was too dirty, I want to say. And it's just one guy living there. I said, no, I don't think it would be that badly trashy looking if there's only one dude in that ship. I don't know, maybe it took him a long time to get there, and it should have, but there's a lot of MacGuffins in there, let's put it that way. So I wasn't too impressed with it. I probably would have watched it if I had nothing else on, and if I was feeling low, like if I was just sitting there with my arm and I had nothing else to watch. Sure, I'd put it on. I'd be depressed as all be from watching it. I just wish there was more to it. I was expecting much more to it, actually. especially when he's kind of talking with the alien a bit. I think the alien was more of a, I don't know what to say. It was more of like probing his mind, and then suddenly got offended. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Um, but anyway, the movie didn't do it for me. Netflix, at least they're trying to get something different. But holy mackerel, like we need more oomph in our science fiction than this. There's been a few hit and misses with some of the science fiction projects I've gotten. Um, I thank God it wasn't a limited series because I don't know if I could take that. Maybe that's why they just put it on as a movie. I would think that uh, they've had some good ones that they've let go. Lost in Space was actually pretty good. That was a good series, and they took too long to generate the next one because by the third season, the kid was grown up. It was all done. And I really wish it would have been more of a mainstay thing, but it took like years upon years to get to the next series, which is a shame, really. Um, I've also been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm a big fan of the original anime version. Well, it's not really anime; it's more animated. But I was a big fan of that Nickelodeon series, and I can see why people think it's not as good. It lacks the comedic side, I suppose. Even my daughter was saying that because she watched the series and she was disappointed that it was so heavy on the drama and love romancy stuff. But she's 11, so she wasn't too keen on all that. But she loved the animated series. So did I. I thought there was more comedy in that. And they had the Cabbage guy in there. I know everybody's talking about this Cabbage guy being in it, but I just so far the series is fine. It's fine. It's not good and it's not terrible. It's just the scripting could be better. The actors are fine. The Soka kid, man, he needs to get more emotions going, or not emotions, but more of his comedic role of Soka, because I don't. They kind of burst through a little bit with it. He could be so much more if they just focused on that a bit more. And then there's just check boxing going on about race swapping and stuff like that, and I'm just I don't know about that. But it seems to me like it's doing okay. I wouldn't say it was the greatest, but I wouldn't say it was the worst. Not like Shyamalan's little epic disaster film, because I think that was horrible. I watched some of that, and I wish I hadn't. But it's a step up from that. Let's put it that way. It won't be the animated series because there's only so much you can do in a live action compared to an animated series. But there's a lot of story to cram in, and they're cramming in way too fast, and that's the problem. They're not giving enough time to space it out, to give the characters some depth, and they need to focus on that more. If it gets a second season, maybe they can extend that out. But it seems like they're rushing it. They're rushing the whole premise of the story. They're adding stuff in that wasn't in the cartoon, and it bothers me about that. But hopefully, it gets better. Anyway, so that's I'm laid up right now. I was in extreme pain after my surgery when the freezing ran out. Oh my God, I've never felt such pain in all my life. Thank God for having some of that medicine they gave me to counteract it, because man, whew, it was painful. That was like bone pain. Um, but yeah, so I'm a little hard up for writing. Maybe I could, once I start getting the use of my hand back, I could start getting back into it. I am kind of typing as much as I can, but my left hand, my wrists are so bad that I can't keep my wrists maintained for too long. especially my left, because it the way that it's painful to me. I've been living in pain for the last couple of years from my job, my real job, and it's very physical and very demanding, and uh, so it kind of hurts me uh, when I'm writing. It does hurt, but I have to write because that's what I love. And I wish I'd done this a long time ago, but I'm doing it now. The way they're doing it is going to help me a lot better to alleviate all that. So hopefully things will get better. So for now, I am out of commission. I will try to bring up more as I can, maybe in the summer. I did enter my book into the Book Blogger Award again for 2024. We'll see how that does, because my last book didn't even make it past the first hurdle, I don't think. Or did it? I can't remember now. All these contests, I get in, I get halfway in, and then it just doesn't happen. The fantasy books are really, really doing boffo, and they're just really pushing aside most of us that are trying to get our foot in there. There's no blame to them. Fantasy is hot now, right now. I'm trying to do a short story for fantasy as well. I'm just not really into the mythos of all of it, so a short story is a better bet. But we'll see. I'm doing what I can with what I can. I have so much to write and so little time in my life to get it done. But I want to get it done. I'm still working on like 2 back-to-back sequels to the Massive Planet, the Adventures of Deep Contact. That book did okay. It still got fairly good reviews, despite what's been happening on Goodreads of late, which I'm not going to go into a whole lot, other than that some people feel the need to downgrade a book for just punishing a writer for saying something, which to me seems like a childish lash out to me. I won't comment on it more because I don't want to punish anybody that comes on to do a review. I understand that, that's what it's there for. And then reviewers feel like we shouldn't have a right to say anything about any book that we've written. And I said, if it's your book, you're going to love your book, obviously. And it does hurt. And we are people, and we do have emotions. And I know you can give a constructive criticism, which is, I don't mind that. I don't mind that you say that you didn't like it. That's your opinion. But to go on and personally attack an author for other things, to me seems awful. And I don't want to make this a big battle between authors and reviewers. Well, I hate to break this to reviewers, but sometimes authors are also reviewers. They're also readers of books as well. They're not just authoring just for the sake of putting it out there and saying, well, you don't like my book. No. I like reviewing some stuff as well. I have opinions. I'm a person just as much as you are. I would never try to counteract the abusiveness to somebody online. To me, that's childish and it's unprofessional, and it would be unprofessional of a reviewer to do the same. So I appreciate those who review the book for what it is, and not for the person behind the book. If you feel differently, then that's your prerogative. And I know there's been a lot of drama going around the book community for things that have happened online. Lots of people putting stuff out there. I know that JCM Byrne is like trying to constantly poke the bear on Twitter. I see you out there, buddy. I see you trying to do some stuff, especially on prologues and stuff like that. So that's interesting. I I can see how he's getting a little worn down by some of that. But you know what? That's the nature of business, right? You say something and boom, everybody's on you. Especially the more famous you get with your book, you tend to get a little bit more comments, which is what surprised me when I got like some harsh criticism on my book, and it was like, really, you're targeting me? Have hardly anybody. I have hardly anybody like pushing my stuff out there. But hey, no. When I lean back and think about it, I'm like, going, okay, so bad criticism is good criticism, I suppose, because it's like free advertisement. The more you trash the book, the freer advertising you're doing for me. And that seems to be the way for many books. Many of the books that get so trashed on are the ones that are getting the most advertisements. You don't like the book? Don't say anything at all. But if you want to keep bashing a book, you're just going to make that book even more popular. And maybe that's the thing. Today it seems like that's the only way to get attention, especially on YouTube's videos, where it's all bad, like bad reviews or trash talking. The negativity seems to get the focus because that's what the AI seems to push out. And all this negativity is what gets people talking, which to me seems like it shouldn't be that way. Positive should be the way to go, not the other way around. You should be more positive in what you say and what you do than the negative. Because I'd hate to think that this world is nothing but negative, and all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. The less negative we need more positive in this world. We do, and we need escapism more than we were getting. We're getting too much politics involved in our works in TV and books, and I think it's time to step. I think that's probably why fantasy is drumming up so much, because everybody's tired of the politics. They want to escape those politics and go into some other world where they have their whole other problems that has nothing to do with our society at all. And I applaud that. I think that we should be going into that stuff. I love, like I said, when I don't do fantasy, I do like to watch some fantasy. I've been getting back into the Conan, the Barbarian. Great stuff. Uh, really great fantasy fiction to escape. Oh, heck yeah. I know there's stuff in there that some people might get offended by and what the some of the tropes are in there, but who cares? It's fantasy. It doesn't take place technically in our world, although the Hyborian Age is supposed to be a period within the human time period. But really, when I was like doing some research on it, he really didn't want to create a different. He didn't want to put it into Earth's history. It was actually a world somewhere else. So it's like an else world where Conan lives. It's on a planet that has nothing to do with us. And I thought that's a greater way of creating something. Create your own world. Create something vastly different. Just and it's human and supernatural and everything that you can shove in there. Bravo to that. So there's my rambling on that one. So hands down, here I am. Still working on some stuff. Maybe I'll get back into it, hopefully soon. I've done pretty good so far. I got some of the movement back in my hand here as I'm trying to get it all worked out. But hopefully soon I can get back into writing and getting back into some of the stories to push out for the next books. Well, the next stuff I need to get out. I'm still working on Space Rockers. I'm still trying to crank it out as much as I can. I'm getting closer to the end of what I want to get it to. Just it's taking time. Hopefully I get more time to write. Get more time to get this complete for everybody. In the meantime, thank you for reading my books, reviewing my books. Please subscribe and tell me what you think in the comments section. Give me some give me anything. Do you want to talk about something? Are you have you read any of my books? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, subscribe, all that stuff that they all tell us on here to YouTube to say. The only way for us to know how you're receiving this is to get some feedback. So I thank you, and I thank everybody that's thinking of me in this time, and may you continue to enjoy the books. And that's it for me today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for now.